Hey guys, welcome to Movie Enthusiasts, um, where we will be talking about movies, and because we love them, we're enthused about them. So today we're going to talk about the DCEU because hey, Aquaman comes out this week. So Merry Christmas to all, and Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Let's talk about the DCEU. Now, the DCEU contains Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, and Justice League. Okay, and here at Movie Enthusiasts, we have ranked our movies, and we like to rank them in the series, so we know exactly which inside the series is the best. So how do we rank them? Well, we rank them based on their script, their special effects, villains, acting, music, fight choreography, and the humor. And this is just for superhero movies. We have different criteria for different types of movies based on their genre. So we go through and we give a score for each of these: script, special effects, villain, acting, music, fight choreography, humor. We'll give each one of these a score from 1 to 10, and these are each weighted. Then we weight these so we get our final score. Um, so script will get a weighting of 5. So for every point, they get 5 points. So it could get a max of 50 points. Special effects 5, villain 3, acting 3, music 1, fight choreography 2, and humor 1. And let me give a little disclaimer about humor. Um, while humor is important and all that, we will not be um, we will be not we can give full points, full all 10 points to a movie that say doesn't have any humor in it whatsoever. So long as the show feels okay without the humor. And this is totally subjective. All these points are given by myself, um, and just how I think each movie ranks. Um, so let's talk about how we ranked each of these. Man of Steel, I made an error. Man of Steel is actually number 2. I didn't mean to put number 3. Batman vs Superman is number 3. I actually was going through the rankings just earlier after I made this slideshow, and I realized that I mix those two up in the ranking. So Man of Steel is actually 2. Batman vs Superman is 3. Suicide Squad is 5. Wonder Woman is 1. Justice League is 4. And here's the scores we gave them out of 200. Man of Steel 187. Batman vs Superman got a 167. Suicide Squad got a 63. Not doing so well. Wonder Woman 193. And Justice League 107. Okay, so we're going to talk about each of these. We're going to go a little bit into each of the reasons why we think each movie got each rating. So let's talk about that. So let's start off with Man of Steel, the very first movie in the series. Man of Steel, we gave a 187. And let's talk a little bit about that. Um, so, in terms of script, some people don't like this movie so much because of the script being so sad. I mean, people think Superman's supposed to be this big old guy, happy and strong, and there's nothing supposed to stop him from being human. But Zack Snyder came in and made Man of Steel, Superman, a more human person, and how he's still trying to figure out who he is in this world. Um, he spent most of his early life being told by his parents, "Hey, don't use your powers. People are gonna be scared of them. Maybe one day you can use them, but now don't use them." And he's still trying to figure out where he fits in on the world, what he's supposed to do if he's not supposed to use his powers. And then eventually he ends up being confronted with the need to use his powers and saving the world. So I give this a script a 9. I don't give it a full 10 because there is a little bit of too much information, but for the most part, it's still something we can handle. Uh, Special effects. Um, in terms of special effects, I give this a full 10. I thought this was absolutely amazing. None of the special effects were so bad that you could um, notice that it was CGI or something like that. Um, so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and skip down to acting. Acting is a 10. on my part. I love Henry Cavill as an actor, and I could not find any of the supporting actors that I didn't like. I loved Russell Crowe as Jor-El. I loved Michael Shannon as Zod. I loved Amy Adams as Lois Lane. I just loved every actor in this. It was personally, I absolutely loved every actor. So I give him a 10 out of 10. And to be honest, Henry Cavill is one of my favorites. Is my favorite Superman. I know a lot of you will say, "Hey, Christopher Reeve deserves to be number one." Um, I might agree with you there, but I think Henry Cavill wins it because he puts more emotion into his character. Christopher Reeve did a great job. I respect him. He's probably one of my top three. He's probably number three of them all. But again, I didn't connect as much to his movies, probably because they're a little older. Brandon Roth was also a very good Superman. I really liked him too. I was especially fond of his movie, but he didn't get much of a chance because he was essentially trying to bank on Christopher Reeve. My second favorite Superman would probably have to be Henry Cavill. Pretty good Superman from Smallville. If you haven't seen Smallville, go watch it. Absolutely wonderful. And Henry Cavill and Tom Welling's. I totally call Tom Welling Henry Cavill. Tom Welling is the one from Smallville. Henry Cavill and Tom Welling's Superman is actually kind of face some of the same problems. And then our new contender, Tyler Hoechlin. He is also he's the Superman from Supergirl. I know these last two weren't from movies, but they're from TV shows. But hey, there are tons of Supermans out there. I think Henry Cavill just outdoes all four. These four, which are probably the top five in here. I don't know any of the other Superman. I probably haven't seen any of them. These are the ones I've seen, so that's how I kind of judge it. Um, Now, let's go into our villains. For Man of Steel, the villain is General Zod, played by Michael Shannon. Some of you may recognize the General Zod played by Terrence Howard in the original Superman, the motion picture. Some of you may say that Terrence Howard was a better one. Some of you may say Michael Shannon's better. I personally think Michael Shannon's better. They'll both have their their how do you say it? Their pros and cons. Um, Personally, I absolutely hate Terrence Howard's suit. I think it looks absolutely weird. But I think Michael Shannon just completely embodies the way General Zod's supposed to be embodied. He is absolutely imposing and scary. Some of his backup um, backup villains aren't as great, so I give villains an 8 for this movie. Music, I'll give it 10 because I absolutely love the music. And the fight choreography, I give it 9. The only reason why I give fight choreography a 9 because with Man of Steel, this is a little problem that the DCEU has, and that's putting their fight scenes one right after another. And that's why it goes down because it makes the movie feel dragged out a little bit. Humor, I give it a 10 just because I don't feel like it needed any humor. It had just enough to be the way to keep me entertained. So let's move on to our next movie, Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. Now this one gets a lot of hot crap. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes give it a 27%. I would personally give it a lot higher. I absolutely love Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. But then again, most of you probably haven't seen the extended version, which is why I love it is because of the extended version. I can understand not liking the theatrical version. There are a few holes in it. So if you haven't watched the extended version of Batman vs Superman, I highly recommend it. I give it a 9. Same reason for the script, same reasons as Man of Steel because there were little holes in it. And now, if any of you say one of those holes is the Martha incident, I would say don't. I absolutely love that scene. Let me give you a little reason why. People make fun of that so much because, like, oh, why would you stop a fight because someone said your mom's name? I would say the reason why is because Batman. The reason why Batman stopped is because Batman is so concerned about keeping his identity safe, keeping those around him safe, that he has tried everything possible to make sure Bruce Wayne and Batman are not thought of as the same person. Um, and when someone says his mother's name and says "Save Martha," makes him a little concerned. That'd make me concerned too if I was trying to hide my identity. Um, and so after figuring out that it after trying to figure out why Superman was saying Martha, yeah, I would say when Lois tells him that's his mother's name, and then he listens to exactly what Superman had said, save Martha. He's realizing that Superman is trying to do something that Batman himself would have tried to do had he been able to back when he was a child. So don't ever say that that part is a bad pull, but because of that, I would say Zack Snyder should probably have shown Batman's paranoia a little bit more for those people who aren't huge um, Batman fans like I am. So let's talk about special effects. Now, special effects in this one, I give a 6. Um, I give that a here. I'll tell you why when we actually get into the villains, because I have a picture that will show exactly that. We'll just go ahead and skip down to acting. I give acting a 10. I think just like Henry Cavill is the uh, best Superman, I think Ben Affleck is the best Batman. Now you got tons of Batmans. The most known ones are Adam West from the 1960s, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale. Most people will argue that Christian Bale is the best. I would say no because Batman is one of the hardest characters to portray. You have to portray him as a playboy, a billionaire philanthropist. You know, Mr. Stark's words: playboy, billionaire, philanthropist, or billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, something like that. He has to be a detective. He has to be a very, very intelligent and be able to make his own stuff. Um, and he has to be a very good fight choreographer. That's the only thing that Christian Bale did was make sure he was a fight choreographer and a playboy. Um, while Ben Affleck kind of gets rid of the playboy aspect, it does fulfill all the other aspects, something that no other Batman has been able to do. He has shown that he's a detective. He can build things. He's intelligent. He's a detective. Um, Absolutely wonderful. And I think every other actor they chose, such as Gal Gadot for Wonder Woman, absolutely wonderful for the roles they received. Um, Now let's get into the villains. I give villains an 8 out of 10. I know y'all say Jesse Eisenberg probably isn't the best Lex Luthor. He has no hair. He has hair. He's kind of crazy. Um, and to be honest, that's part of the reason why I detracted a little bit from his points. But I still think he did a very good job of showing that Lex Luthor is very devious and very cunning and always thinking ahead. Maybe giving him a few little ticks that we weren't expecting, but I think he still did a good job. I mean, he probably didn't do as good a job as Gene Hackman or his predecessor Kevin Spacey. Definitely didn't do as good a job as Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville, but I still think Jesse Eisenberg still did a good job. Um, Now, Doomsday, yeah, he didn't do so good. I don't think there was a really much of a reason to have Doomsday come into the show, and this brings me back to the special effects, where I give it number 6. As you can see, you can definitely tell he's a CGI character. Some people have said, hey, it looks like one of the trolls from Lord of the Rings. I would kind of have to agree. It does kind of look more like one of the trolls from Lord of the Rings. But, so that's why I give special effects a 6. Warner Brothers, if you're listening, one little suggestion: don't rely so heavily on CGI. CGI isn't the best. I'll give you a few more reasons as I go on throughout. Music, I still absolutely love the music for this. It's quite memorable. Fight choreography, music out of 10. Fire choreography was still pretty good. I gave it a 9. Again, same problems as Man of Steel with that one. And humor, I give it a 10. Again, I didn't really think it needed any humor. But then again, I am also one of those people who love serious movies. So let's go on to Suicide Squad. Now, the best part of Suicide Squad are these two people right here: Will Smith's Deadshot and Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. Um, I gave this a 63 because the script sucked. Was not coherent whatsoever. Special effects, they were okay, except for the hula dancing from Enchantress. Um, Villain, Enchantress, I gave that a 1. I did not like Enchantress whatsoever. I thought that was one of the worst things. Again, I gave acting a 3 because of uh, these two wonderful people right here. But um, yeah. Now some of you guys think, what about Jared Leto as the Joker? To be honest, I don't mind Jared Leto as a Joker. I can't say if I like him or not because I haven't seen enough of him. To be honest, the tattoos don't really concern me because Joker is absolutely out of his mind. He can be whatever he wants. He can have tattoos. He can't. I don't care. Um, I'm not sure if I would say he's better than Jack Nicholson. Probably not better than Heath Ledger. I'm going to say definitely not better than Mark Hamill. I mean, who can be hard Mark Hamill? Uh, you have to have a laugh like Mark Hamill's Joker in order to win me over. Um, Heath Ledger was a good Joker. Jack Nicholson was a good Joker. I can't tell you about Jared Leto. There was not enough screen time for him, and I have not seen the extended version, so I can't tell you based on that either. So, um, music, I don't remember. The music was okay. I don't think it was really appropriate for the movie. Fight choreography, got a 5. It was kind of bland, just pretty much Harley Quinn swinging a bat and Will Smith shooting people and Captain Boomerang throwing a boomerang every now and then Diablo just burning up every now and then. So it wasn't all that impressive. Humor, I think, definitely just dropped the ball on this one. It was number 4. It could have used a lot more humor than it had, and more appropriate humor. Let's get on to Wonder Woman, the best by far, 193. You're going to hear a lot of 10s right here. There are only a few that did not get 10s. So in terms of script, I gave it a 10. Absolutely love the script. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it, in my opinion. Special effects, we'll skip that for now. Acting, I think Gal Gadot did an absolutely fantastic job. I think everyone they chose was fantastic. Chris Pine, um, even David Thewlis, who ended up playing Ares, which, speaking of villain, hey guys, did you guys know that Ares played Lupin? Remus Lupin from Harry Potter? I think that was a little weird. Uh, Pretty awesome though. I absolutely love the acting. Villain though, I would give a 9. I think they should have chosen someone a little bit better, but still, I loved him. A little bit more imposing. Though my biggest problem with the villain is the CGI, which they also got a knockoff for special effects, got also a 9. The special effects are really good until they introduce this CGI'd armored Ares, and I think that was kind of a problem. It just doesn't look so nice. I mean, you got him without armor, and he looks really good, and you have him with armor, and you think he's totally computer animated. But everything else, I just give a straight up 10. I loved it. I loved the humor, I loved the choreography, I loved the music. It's absolutely awesome. I love Wonder Woman. Let's get on to Justice League. Um, Now, Justice League, I gave a 107, and my biggest problem with Justice League was the script. Um, I would have to say the reason for that being because of the dual directing between Zack Snyder and Josh Whedon. There was a little bit of a problem there, a little bit of disconnect. There was dark tones, there was light tones, and they just weren't connecting. Um, but I will have to say I was pretty intrigued by Ezra Miller as the Flash, and Ray Fisher as the Cyborg. Not sure if I love him though. Still have to see more. Jason Momoa, I think, will be a good one, but I can't really tell. Justice League didn't really do a very good job of showcasing these three. Um, but I have a feeling we'll come to love him over the next few movies. Um, so I gave him a 6 for the script. Acting, I gave him a 5 just because I wasn't so entirely sure about those three. If you're not sure about 3 of the 6 main characters, then you have to give them half points. Um, Music, I don't remember the music too well, so I'm just gonna give it a 4. It may change again when I finally watch the movie again and listen to the music. Humor, I don't think the humor worked for him very well. I'll give him a 2 for that. Fight choreography, I think, was pretty great. 8. They actually, with Wonder Woman and Justice League, they did the right thing with the action and split them up. That's the one best thing I think. The best thing I think that happened for this movie. Villain wise, Steppenwolf, played by Syrian Hines. Um, I wasn't all that impressed. I think mainly of that was probably because he was special effects mostly, and I think they could have done a better job with like practical effects at making this character. And they didn't make him all that imposing. I think that's probably because of Josh Whedon's work. I'm not saying Josh Whedon's a bad director. I absolutely love The Avengers, which he directed. I just think that with the disconnect between Zack Snyder and Josh Whedon's directing, there was a problem there. So, yeah. Now, I'm excited to see Aquaman. It comes out in a couple days, and so this is why I made the video, guys. Tell me if you enjoy. Tell me if you agree. Tell me what you disagree with. I am totally open, and um, next time I will be making a video about how I rank all the Marvel movies from Iron Man down to Infinity Wars. All right? Thanks, guys.